first official live stream of the Unapologetic channel.
Hello, everybody.
It's been a long time in the making. First official live
watching
stream
for
of the
a while.
Unapologetic
Those
channel.
who watching since the beginning of the show.
It's been a long time in the
It's been
making.
almost coming
live
January
stream
before
for
years
a
since I
while.
started the show. And a lot of people have asked. It's been almost live stream coming January before years since getting your wish right here. So a lot of people have asked. It's been almost.
I have a couple things that I wanted to talk about.
Getting your wish right here.
First, I have a couple things
and I'm just gonna wait till
talk
January
about.
getting your wish right here.
First,
Repeating the important things, but
I have a couple things.
and I'm trying to do with the live stream is because you guys know the content that I'm making is important things, but and I'm trying to do with the live stream is because you guys know. So I want to do important things, like different stories where because you guys know. So I may have a thought or two on. I want different stories where just because you guys know. Provide like some quick commentary, thought or two on. So you guys can different stories, different stories as they come up. Stories that like some quick commentary, so you guys can different stories, so that's what I want to do on my live stream. And also, well, today in this live stream, the three things that I want to touch on also Gavin Newsom today in this live couple of weeks ago, the three things that I want to talk about the vaccine mandate, and I actually recorded an entire video on the vaccine mandate, 30 minutes, and I'm going to upload that after this live stream. But there was something like after I finished the video, I'm going to upload that after to do something but which that there was something like after the video is such a nuanced topic that there's which that I said about it. So I just such a I don't want to go over everything that's in the video like there was watch it, but I just such a I don't want to go over everything that you guys think about the vaccine mandate, but that have I don't want to go over been announced you guys more that are in the future, so that's why that have another topic that we're going to talk about on the stream. So that's why the youth from our revolution that they are rebranding as some youth from our revolution organizations like every they are rebranding as some so-called alleged left organizations. So this is like the sellout tour has come full circle, and it is so in your face how much the sellout tour has come full circle, indistinguishable. It is so in your face how much actually they defend near attended and like think progress would. So it's you guys know how I feel about they defend near attended and like think progress would. So it's Bernie Sanders. You guys know how I talk about the rest of that. So I just have some thoughts to say about that. Bernie Sanders. You guys know how I talk about the rest of that. So I just have some thoughts to say about that. Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders. You guys know how I talk about the rest of that. So I just have some thoughts to say about that. Bernie Sanders.
1 second. Okay, and let me know if there's any issues with the audio or oh, so there was issues with the audio. All right, sorry about that. It looks like it's good now. Damn. Well, couldn't start the first live stream without some technical issues. That is on brand for the channel. So everything I was saying earlier, I'll just give you the rundown real quick now that everybody's in here anyway. So with the live streams, I just want to do something a little bit different than I normally do on the channel. You guys know I post long ass videos of me going in detail on any number of issues. So I just want to do like some quick run-throughs of topics that I might not dedicate a whole video to on the channel. So you guys could just get my opinions on it, something that I feel like talking about, but not dedicating 30 minutes of video to. And yeah, so that's basically what I'm trying to do on these live streams. Today we're going to be talking about vaccine mandates. That's probably going to be towards the end of the video. Like I said, I already recorded about a 30-minute video on the vaccine mandates that I'm going to publish. Well, it's going to be public after I finish with this live stream. And then after that, but before that, I'm going to talk about the Gavin Newsom recall. I'm going to talk about our revolution selling out a bunch of centrist, neoliberal shills, no different than any of the shitty, alleged left wing think tanks in Washington, D.C. But first, let me address a couple things. Some elephants in the room. First, clearly, I'm not in. Well, first of all, yes, I do wear glasses, and I'm wearing glasses in the stream. If I was not wearing glasses, I wouldn't be able to read a goddamn thing. I wouldn't be able to read any of the comments. There's a lag with the video and the audio. Wow. Don't know how to fix that. Definitely don't know how to do it live. But you guys let me know. Give me a 1 if the lag is outrageous. Give me a 2 if you can live with it. And there's a like a time delay between the comments and when I speak, so I'm just gonna be looking out for that in the chat. But yeah, so as far as the glasses, yes, when I'm live streaming until I get contacts, I will be wearing glasses, so you just get used to it, I guess. The background, clearly not where I've recorded videos for. Okay, I'm seeing only 2s, so that's great because like I said, had no idea how to fix that. Definitely don't know how to do it live. But the background's a little bit different because over the last year that I've been recording, I've been staying at my sister's. I am no longer staying at my sister's. Don't really have a place to regularly record anymore. So right now I'm recording in a hotel room. I'll live with it. I'll do what I can with it. The show must go on, especially considering the fact that you guys helped me reach my goal for the equipment that I needed to upgrade the quality of the show. And I'm going to get into that a little bit now before I get to the topics, because I'm incredibly grateful for all the support that I've gotten from you guys over the last few months to get this equipment, because like I always say, I've read all the comments about the audio code plays, the video, all of that, and I do take it into consideration, and you guys did help me solve some of those problems with your contributions for the new equipment. And so like I said, you guys committed to the show, so I have to commit right back, and regardless of the studio situation, the show will always continue. Just know that. So yeah, I'm going to get started in the video, and honestly, I don't know why I was expecting maybe 10 live viewers during this entire thing, but already surpassed that, so that's good. So I'm going to start with the first. I don't have any graphics or anything to put up on the screen prepared. It's just, like I said, some things that I wanted to talk about real quick and get your opinion on, and have some back and forth, and maybe at the end of this we could just go and you guys could ask a couple questions about anything you want. But right now, before I actually start, you guys already know the deal. The links to help contribute to the show, help support the show, they're all in the description box of this video. There are links. There's a link to Streamlabs if you want to contribute on the stream. Give me 1 second. If you'd like to contribute and leave a comment on the stream, you can do so on Streamlabs. If you've been following the show for a while, you know that my channel has been demonetized on YouTube for actually it's been a year now. So I don't get super chats and I don't get any ad money. It's an issue that I am working to resolve. But if you want to leave anything in this stream, you could do it through Streamlabs. Also have links to PayPal, links to GoFundMe, links to Patreon if you want to help support the show. Now, the first topic that I want to talk about is the Gavin Newsom recall. So the way I see it is, like, people are trying to, of course, like, the one and only trick that the Democratic Party has is to this lesser of two evils and try to scare the shit out of people into supporting their corrupt neoliberal politicians who are doing absolutely nothing to help their constituents. And so, of course, they trot that shit out in this Gavin Newsom recall. And so I'm not even going to entertain that bullshit. Because at the end of the day, both of them are corporatists. Both of them will serve their corporate donors and actively work against the working class and the poor people in the state. So I'm not even going to entertain which one is the least bad option, which one is might be a slightly less shitty option. I'm not even going to entertain that. I'm going to talk about the merits of whether or not Gavin Newsom should be recalled and whether or not he should be the governor of California. And on its face, Gavin Newsom has done a shit job running the state. So let's be real about that. And so I do think if I was in California, I would definitely vote to recall Gavin Newsom. He ran on single payer, hasn't done a goddamn thing to advance it. And it's even more egregious considering this fact. And it makes everything else that's wrong in the state even worse. The fact that the state is completely controlled by Democrats. They have a Democratic governor, supermajority in the state legislature. And this state is still shit. They have one of the largest economies on the planet, larger than most countries. So they have the resources, they have the numbers to actually run the state how in whatever way they envision. And the way that the state is being run right now is fuck everybody else, and we're just going to cater to the corporations and to the rich donors and the people that live in the state. So he hasn't done what he needed to do to protect his citizens during this entire pandemic and economic crisis. So on that alone, he should be recalled. And I'm seeing a lot of people doing, like, on the left, doing this lesser of two evil shit, and it's such a waste of time and energy. And I'm going to talk about, actually, I'm writing an article on Substack about this race because I heard something that threw me for a loop when I heard it. And a couple of days ago, there was like some article that nobody talked about how labor unions in California put up $2 million to help Gavin Newsom in his recall. So somebody whose policy agenda is hostile to the working class and poor people in the state, he's going to get $2 million in support from labor unions to keep his job? Make that make sense for me. So that really, I wouldn't say it shocked me, because this is kind of like the state of affairs in American politics is just the duopoly, and you're going to shill for one team or the other. But that's not a negligible amount of money. And for a union to be throwing that into electing somebody who isn't going to do anything for your workers, that makes absolutely no sense. And especially considering where we all are on the issue of electoral politics versus direct action, you're not going to get any real substantive change through electoral politics. So again, for unions to be throwing all their eggs into that basket as if they don't have the option of organizing direct action, and as if that's not what they were intended to do in the first place, make life uncomfortable, make things uncomfortable for the managerial class until the demands of the working class is met. Instead of focusing their resources on that, they're going to use it to elect somebody who's hostile to the interest of their workers in their unions. So that made absolutely no sense to me. And it made me look into just how often this happens, because there's no way that this is the first time that unions have thrown in massive support behind shitty Democratic politicians that are hostile to the working class. So I looked into how much unions are spending to prop up and elect shitty corporate Democrats. And over just in 2020, the 2020 election cycle, and this isn't even including the presidential race. In the 2020 election cycle, unions donated almost $60 million to Democrats. $60 million to Democrats in Congress for fucking what? And again, that's money that could have gone to direct actions like worker strikes. They could have used that to money to pay strike pay for workers who walked off the job. They could have used the money to fund direct actions and whatever, but pay for billboards to shame politicians, ads, whatever the fuck you could think of to spend money to put pressure on politicians. They could have done that, but instead they use it to elect a bunch of shitty Democrats. So I'm writing an article on Substack about that. I just went on a tangent about that. But back to the California, the recall with Gavin Newsom. It's disappointing to me how every single time there's an opportunity for the left to exert some power and to throw some weight around and make some real policy demands, they fold like a cheap fucking lawn chair and they completely squander the opportunity. You know how many... It takes millions of signatures to get a recall election even going, to recall a governor in California. And that happened. People were so fed up with Gavin Newsom that millions of people signed a petition to throw his ass out of office before his term was even up. And what did the left in California do? What did the actual left in California do? There is no actual organized left in California. But the people who claim to support Medicare for all, people who claim to support policies to end homelessness and universal policies to address wealth inequality. What did they do when they were presented with this opportunity to oust a shitty corporate Democrat and put up some real actual populist opposition? What did they do? Not a goddamn thing. Instead, the fucking DSA in California, instead of capitalizing on this and running somebody against Gavin Newsom, they immediately just were doing the lesser of two evils bullshit. Like, oh man, you gotta come out, you gotta vote for Gavin Newsom, vote no on the recall, you have to protect Gavin Newsom at all costs because Republican bad, Larry Elder bad, and oh my god, if he gets elected, can you imagine the state of California if Larry Elder gets elected? There might be people sleeping under every fucking bridge in California if Larry Elder gets elected. So like, their immediate response was to play defense for Team Democrat. That was what the so-called organized left in California did. So they completely squandered the opportunity to run somebody, and especially with what's happening right now, the state of the country, the state of California, there's a good chance if you had somebody running on a real left-wing platform and they actually meant that shit and they were coming in there guns blazing, there's a good chance they could have got that governor's seat, but they missed that opportunity. And even if you don't agree with me that the unions should have completely stayed out of this shit and use that money to fund direct action and worker strikes and all those things. If you don't agree with me on that, if you don't agree with me that they should have run somebody against Gavin Newsom, please tell me why the fuck did they all give up their leverage and get absolutely nothing in return? They made no policy demands of Gavin Newsom. They got nothing for it, but they just give him all their support. Why? Because something the other guy might be bad. What kind of fucking politics is that? What kind of politics is that? They could have said, hey, Gavin Newsom, we know your ass is on the line. We know you're feeling the heat right now. And how would it feel if all the organized left, the unions and the DSA, which was really just a fucking sheepdog organization for the Democratic Party, and I said that on Twitter, and a lot of people feel a certain way about it. That's the fucking truth. That's the truth. When have they ever really challenged the Democratic Party when it matters? Never. Never. And this is a perfect example right here. What if they all said, you know what, Gavin? We know you need the votes and you're looking like you don't got no support out there. We vehemently despise your policy agenda and everything you stand for. But if you actually pass single payer before this recall, we have no reason not to get everybody out to defend you and support you in the recall. But they made no fucking demands like always. It's the same song. What's the second verse same as the first? Like this, it's the same shit every single time, completely folding without ever using your leverage to get anything. So, that's just kind of my thoughts on this Gavin Newsom recall. Let me read some of the chat, and I'm going to be reading the chat now, so if you guys want to say anything, feel free to do that. And so West Coast says, unions in California are corrupt. My partner worked for the state and got harassed out of her job. And let me say something about this, because as I get more informed in politics, the more I despise unions. And let me be clear about what I mean by that. The idea of unions and the idea of collective bargaining on behalf of workers, I'm 100% behind that. The thing is, the unions in this country are complete shit. And some people out there watching this video right now are going to get offended by this. Some people might be in unions. But that's just the reality of what it is. Because what have they done during this entire pandemic? This entire worst economic crisis in history. 60 million people lost their jobs. Workers forced to sell their souls and prostitute their bodies in the middle of a fucking pandemic and risk their lives at the altar of capitalism. No fucking benefits. No hazard pay, none of that. What did the fucking unions do to push back? Nothing. Fucking nothing. How many fucking unions are there in this country? Where were they organizing general strikes? How come that hasn't happened? Situations as bad as it's ever been in this country. How come that hasn't happened? So they do and let me be technically correct here. Is it true that union workers have better benefits than workers without union protections? Yes, that is true. They do have better benefits. But there's two ways that this could go. First of all, they have better benefits than people in working slave wage conditions. So, I mean, do you want to throw a parade over that? And then the second point is, historically, the importance of unions in communities and across the country, it hasn't just been that they secure these little measly benefits for their workers, or they secure healthcare for the workers specifically in their union. Some of the most important work that unions have done in this country has been collectively getting wins for all workers, not just the workers that are part of that specific union. And that part of union organizing and union collective action has been completely fucking missing. They aren't making any real demands. The reason why we have a 5-day work week is because of the pressure of unions. The reason why we have OSHA and certain workers' protections is because of the pressure of unions. That it wasn't just for their specific unions that they were trying to get benefits for. But like I said, that mindset is completely gone now. It's completely gone. And when they do, when you see them doing some type of actions for the members of their specific unions, what are they doing? I mean, my fucking God, and I didn't even. I should hold it back a little bit because this is a lot of shit that I'm gonna heap on these unions, but it's well deserved. When you see these workers going on strike, and I 100% support the workers going on strike, but when you see them going on strike and the demands that the union is asking for, it's like, what are you doing? There was one strike going on for a couple months, and workers were asking for, they got a pay cut, and they were asking for the wages of 2017. They were just asking for the wages that they were getting paid back in like 2017 to be reinstated. That's what they're fucking asking for. That's what they're on strike for. To get paid what they were getting paid back in 2017. What kind of ask is that? And that's coming from the union leadership. That's coming from, they don't know how to exert leverage, and their and the demands are shitty. So when I say people need to be organizing, when I say workers need to be organizing, there's a very big difference from organizing and joining a union, in my opinion. I think there should be a lot of wildcat strikes, what are technically called illegal strikes, and workers organizing outside of the union, because who the fuck cares? Take them to court. Like, look at the state of the country right now. You're gonna take people to court because they didn't organize through official channels? Fuck that. And there's the other segment of people who say, "Oh yeah, I support organizing," but let's. But when I say organizing, I mean let's form some more unions, and I 100% disagree with that. But that was a tangent. I'm gonna get back to the chat. Phenomenal Mysticism says every governor in California since 1960s have had recall attempted on them. Governors of California clearly have trust issues with the people. And here's the thing. That is true that they have trust issues. I don't even think that's unique to governors in California. I think all politicians and all governors have there's a crisis of credibility among the public, because we see how they do fuck all for their constituents when they have power. And in California, like I mentioned, it's especially egregious because you don't even have the excuse of, oh, it's gridlock in the state legislature and what can I do? I can't do everything through the executive branch of the government. So, I mean, these Republicans holding me up, or they don't even have that excuse in California. That's why the governors do take a lot of heat, because they're the head of the Democratic Party in the state, and the Democratic Party controls every fucking lever of power. And when people see that nothing is happening to improve their lives, there's nobody to blame but the shit Democratic Party and the shit governor at the head of the Democratic Party. Oh yes, of course, West Coast. It is weird that you can't super chat because YouTube demonetized my fucking channel. If anybody would like to send anything, and anything like a super chat kind of thing, you can do it through PayPal. I will read the note that you make on PayPal. The link is in the description box. I also have a link to whatever the fuck it is of Streamlabs that I'm streaming on. And in Streamlabs, you could kind of do like some super chat thing where you make a donation and it comes up on the screen. So if you guys want to help contribute to the show that way, that would be great. Roseanne's friend, let me tell you something. Happy to see you're able to live stream. Let me tell you something. So many of you in this who watch the channel don't know this about me. You don't know a lot of stuff about me because I like when I do the way that I do content. There's like no room for me to be like talking about myself in stories about Iraq or the stories about like unemployment or whatever. So we don't get this chance to talk back and forth, but something you guys don't know about me is I am a big lover of music, and actually, I decided that I'm gonna start performing, but that's a different thing, unrelated topic. But Roseanne's friend, let me tell you, I've seen your comments on a bunch of different live performances and things like that, and you definitely have some good music taste. I keep forgetting to every time I see you comment on my videos, I keep forgetting to bring it up, but I did remember when I saw you in the live chat. So, let me see what else. Okay, let me move on to. Actually, no. Let me just check this one thing real quick. And please keep sending in the chats in the chat, because I do want to respond to you guys, because I like this chance to go back and forth with the audience that I don't normally get. I'm just trying to find something real quick. And another thing about live streaming, my God, this is about to be a test of my mouthpiece, because I'm just going to be ending up talking endlessly. Even when I'm trying to do other things, my mouth is going to have to keep moving, because I cannot have dead air. That is part of the show business. But let me see what's going on over here. All right, so I'm gonna move on to the next thing I want to talk about. But what was I about to say? Okay, so I'm going to get into the mandates. If you missed what I said earlier in the stream, I actually did an entire video on it already. I'm gonna publish it after this, I get off this live stream. It's about 30 minutes, and I talk about a lot of stuff. But there's some things that I didn't get to, and I do want to get your opinions on this whole vaccine situation and the mandates. So I'm interested in having a conversation with you on that. But first, let me talk about the R Revolution thing. Like I said, I'm always going to do an entire video on it, because this is just more of the same. And I don't know, like, at this point, everybody who's acting like we should stop talking about the epic betrayal from these charlatans and these frauds, these so-called left politicians, everybody who's acting like we should just get over that and move on to bigger and better things. I mean, I wouldn't even say it's bordering on dishonest. It's just flat out dishonest at this point. Because you can't tell me that these politicians come out and jump in front of this entire populist energy and this movement in this country and say, I'm going to lead the movement, and we know you've been screwed by the establishment, and just give us your money, and oh boy, we're going to go and fight for you. They've done this for like 5 fucking years, raised hundreds of millions of dollars, and I wrote an article on Substack about it, and the link to that is in the description of this video too. Raised hundreds of millions of dollars off of that, and then on a fucking dime, completely betray the movement, and every policy that they claim to support, everything that they claimed that they were going to do, bust up the establishment, rock the boat, and challenge the status quo. They dropped all that shit, and now they're doing what's in the best interest of themselves and their careers. And they're just gonna toe the party line and be loyal, partisan hack Democrats. And feel like there's absolutely no reason to provide an explanation to all the people that they took for a fucking ride over the last 5 years. So it is disturbing to me how all the people, the so-called journalists and serious commentators in new media, wanted to sweep this chapter of epic betrayal and fucking just flat out fraud. They just want to sweep it under the rug and tell everybody to move on and do other things. So, I mean, you guys have already heard by now about the R Revolution. They came out, made this huge big announcement about how now they're going to be rebranding as quote, pragmatic progressives. And instead of Medicare for all, they're going to be pushing for Medicare at 60 or some shit. Lowering the Medicare eligibility age. And they're going to push for tweaks to the Affordable Care Act. And they want Medicare to cover dental and whatever the fuck, hearing aids for elderly people. All of this neoliberal claptrap that we all know is bullshit, and that's become that's the core theme, that's the core message of our revolution now. We said revolution, and it's even in the name of our fucking organization. But did we say revolution? What we meant was some minor tweaks to the status quo if Joe Biden and his corporate donors will allow. That's what our revolution has turned into. This shitty sham fucking organization. And so what I want to know is this has happened maybe a week, 2 weeks by now. So what I want to know is Bernie Sanders going to object to this? I mean, this is an organization built in his fucking name, and off of his rhetoric of revolution. And now, I mean, he's already far down the path of this pragmatic progressive bullshit anyway, doing whatever Joe Biden tells him to do. But it's noteworthy that when we've been told that no, Bernie's as fire breathing and revolutionary. All these Justice Democrats, the whole Bernie movement, we're as fire breathing and revolutionary as we've ever been. Oh, but we're just getting wins and we're playing the game a little bit better. That's the only difference here. But we believe in all the same policies. Okay, well, no, you don't, because you're not using the opportunities you have now to advance those policies. And two, our revolution just came out and said, we're rebranding as pragmatic progressives, the centrist bullshit that basically Hillary Clinton was doing back in 2016. That's our brand now. So that's irreconcilable. Those things don't match up. You can't be talking about Medicare for all at the same time you're making the argument for Medicare, lowering the Medicare eligibility age and doing tweaks to the Affordable Care Act, because those things are mutually exclusive. In the arguments that you make for single payer, the arguments that attracted millions of people in this country because of how much it resonated with their lives and their experience with healthcare in this country. The arguments that were made were, the core argument that landed was, we cannot wait. It is an emergency. It is an emergency, the healthcare situation in this country. And this was before COVID. This was the rhetoric before COVID. It is an emergency. Genocidal levels of people are dying every year in this country because they can't afford basic healthcare. And that is not a thing in any other advanced country. This is an emergency. 60 to 70,000 people dying every year, avoidable deaths, 100% avoidable deaths. And if that wasn't bad enough, hundreds of thousands of people, 500,000 people going bankrupt every fucking year. That wasn't the numbers over the last 5 years, the last 10 years. Every year, 500,000 people in this country go bankrupt because of medical bills. This is an emergency. That's why the argument for single payer landed. Because people know that. Because that's their experience. People dying because they can't afford their prescription medication. The prescription there, they got the prescription from a doctor. They have the drug in the pharmacy. People are dying because they can't afford to pay the fucking prescription. It is a fucking emergency. And that's why the rhetoric landed. But now, they're making the argument that, we believe in that, the emergency and how desperate the situation is before then. We believe in all that. But also, have you guys looked into neoliberalism, and have you looked into incrementalism, and have you wondered what it can do for your family if we did some minor tweaks to the Affordable Care Act. So they're making these contradictory arguments at the same time, and it's been really put on display by Pramila Jayapal's. She's introducing legislation to lower the Medicare eligibility age. And again, this is the same person who wrote the Medicare for All bill, the single payer bill. So you're literally on both sides of the argument that one, incrementalism is killing everybody and it needs to end today. And we need to radically change our healthcare system and have a single payer system. You're making that argument at the same time you're saying, oh, well, I guess we could just make a couple tweaks and people will be fine. I guess if we just lower the eligibility age, I mean, hey, everybody who's 26 to 59, I guess they could just have to wait a little bit while until they get healthcare. Like, that's the arguments that they're making, and it's wildly contradictory. And one more thing I want to say, because like I said, I didn't want to spend too much time on this. Look at look at the opportunity that's being wasted here. And one of the reasons why we'll never let go of this angle, if you want to call it this, of raging against these charlatan progressives. One of the reasons I'll never let this go is because we're never going to get this opportunity as this presented itself right now in our lifetime. And the Democrats completely control government. And this is what they keep telling us we have to keep voting for Democrats for. We need to keep voting for them so that when they have complete control of government, that's when we'll get all the shit that we've been begging them for. We just need them to have control of all government. Well, we have that opportunity here. It's not like that's something that happens every year, every 2 years. It's happening right now. And it might be the only time for another decade or 2 decades. That time's right now. And what are the fucking Democrats doing on healthcare? Fuck all. Fuck all. What are the people who claim to support Medicare for all, ran on it, raised millions of dollars saying that they're going to fight for it? What are they doing for healthcare in the middle of a fucking pandemic and economic crisis while Democrats completely control government? Fuck all. So what's going to happen is this moment is going to pass us by. Democrats are going to lose the House or the Senate or some shit. And then everybody's gonna be looking around like, oh my God, we can't do anything now. The Republicans, the big bad Republicans, and that's, God damn it. I guess we're gonna have to wait another fucking 20 years until we have complete control of government. And everybody's gonna completely forget about the 2 years that they spent doing bullshit. And I'm not gonna forget it. So, that's kind of my rant on that. Do you guys have anything to say about the fucking Our Revolution bait and switch, the fucking scam of all scams, raising hundreds of millions of dollars from people saying that they're gonna bust up the establishment as soon as they get some fucking power? Hey man, everybody gotta go along to get along sometime, right? Fucking frauds and charlatans. And by the way, where the fuck is Nina Turner on this? Everybody was talking about how she's a big, bad, fire-breathing progressive, right? We got to go out and support Nina Turner in her campaign, right? Well, what the fuck did she got to say about the organization that she was the president, the fucking president of, talking about, oh, yeah, we're doing some centrist bullshit now and fuck all that revolution talk? What Nina Turner got to say about that? Not a fucking thing. Yeah, West Coast says, yeah, Ben Dixon calling healthcare a 15-year goal at best. This is what I'm fucking, like, people are trying to ride both sides of the fence here. You can't keep talking about, oh yeah, we need, this is an emergency, this issue's so urgent. But in my best case scenario, we're not gonna do anything about it for 20 years. That's fucking incongruent. You might as well come out and say, yes, I'm fucking incrementalist, and yes, I want some fucking minor tweaks to the Affordable Care Act for the next 20 years, and then maybe we could talk about the expanding to single payer. At least just be honest with us and just be straight up and be like, yes, I'm an incrementalist. But no, they keep trying to pretend like they're one of us. They're down with the fucking cause and they're down with the populist movement. But all you're doing is trying to hold us back and trying to get us to fucking bend over for some more incrementalism, like some fucking infiltrators. But then again, let me just continue. I see D's in the chat. I always read your comments. Always see you on Twitter. What a great follow on Twitter. And by the way, I don't know if you guys are following me on Twitter. It would be a good way to keep in touch and to keep track of my thoughts on any given issue at any given time, because it is easier for me to just shoot out a tweet about something that I just read or something that I saw that got me feeling some type of way. It's easier for me to just do like a quick tweet or whatever than it is to, like I said, set up a whole production for a video and all of that. So you will definitely get more a more variety of different takes, and of course me shooting the shit on Twitter and talking shit or whatever. So yeah, go follow me on Twitter at unapologetic.yt. And goddamn, I have been talking for 49 minutes. So let me get into the vaccine mandates. Like I said, I made a whole 30-minute video on the vaccine mandate. I will be publishing that video after this live stream is done. But there were some things that I didn't touch on, and I also want to like interact with you guys on this and see what you guys are thinking. Ironically, it might be something that gets my fucking first stream pulled, but I don't care. So I talked about the vaccine mandates. I spent a lot of time in the video talking about like this. Oh my god! If I'm afraid of like getting into it and then just doing like going into everything that I talked in the video about, and like I said, I don't want to do that. But I talked about how people are acting as if the government has exhausted all possible options to contain the virus, and they have nothing left to save us other than using the brute force of the government to force millions of people to get some experimental drugs injected into their body that they aren't comfortable with. People are acting as if there is absolutely nothing else that can be done to contain the virus, and that's just not true. Many of the countries that have handled it the best have done it. Actually, literally all the countries that have handled it the best have done it without a vaccine. Australia, New Zealand, Iceland, Japan. Most of them have less than 1,000 deaths or right around 1,000 deaths during this entire pandemic. Compare that to the U.S., where it's been hundreds of thousands of people dead. So the vaccine is not the only thing that can be done to contain the virus. And also, of course, if you're talking about saving lives, why not single payer? Why isn't that option on the table? If you're talking about saving lives, why are we still evicting people? Why did we greenlight the mass eviction crisis that's going to inevitably lead to more people dying? So there are definitely things that can be done to improve the state of the country during in this pandemic right now. But nobody wants to do those things because you have to challenge power to do those things, and you have to make power uncomfortable, and their profits might take a hit. So those are off the table. But when it comes to forcing people to give up the last fucking piece of themselves that they have, what shred of dignity we have left in this fucking life, what little autonomy that they have, that option's on the table. Force people to give that up and make the government dictate to you what you is going into your body, and you have no say in it at all. So I just do not agree with where the people are placing the burden on the pandemic right now, on as if it's all on people who haven't taken this vaccine for whatever reason it may be, as if the government isn't responsible for national policy during the pandemic. But something that I didn't talk about in the video was this very disgusting trend that I'm seeing, definitely among the elites and people in the media, but even regular people and even people that I kind of respect and like in like left independent media. There's this trend of like dancing on the graves of people who died of COVID and who didn't get the vaccine. Like, haha, you should have got the vaccine. And like, it is like literally a whole genre of news right now. Like, mainstream outlets will come out and like, oh, this random fucking person who posted something about the vaccine died and he didn't take the vaccine. Haha, don't be that guy. And it is so fucking gross to me. And you all know I'm not into any of that civility bullshit. And oh, don't say that that's mean or anything like that. But I don't know. This feels different and it feels especially gross. And and I'm seeing something about like, okay, so I don't even know how to pronounce this, but I see you commenting on my videos all the time. It says Australia is building quarantine camps, so much tyranny there. Okay, there is definitely an argument to be made about people going too far with how they respond to the pandemic and the lockdowns and things like that. And I addressed that in the video. But that being said, they've definitely handled it better than us, and there are some things to be learned. Had we done an actual lockdown, not the bullshit lockdown that we had where we was like, oh, some people, you can't go to work and we're not going to give you any money. But other people, you can't go to work and you still can go out and the virus still spreading all over the fucking place. But we're just going to ruin some people's financially, though. That's a shitty lockdown. That did absolutely nothing to contain the virus. Had we paid people to stay home, paid them thousands and thousands of dollars to stay home until the cases were low enough to where we can have some sort of functioning, normal functioning society. If people wear masks inside or whatever, then we could do normal things. Had that been the approach, we would not be in the state that we're in. And if we take that approach now, it would definitely be better than what we're doing right now. So I'm not one of those people who just say, who it just shuts their mind off. It says lockdowns, no questions asked. I definitely do think there's some pushback to be had there. But like I was saying before, there's this gross, like just this mocking people who are dying of COVID. And it's part of this trend, like I said, to shift the responsibility away from the government and powerful institutions that have fucking failed on an epic level and have failed the public and have led to the state of crisis that we're in right now. It is honestly a deliberate effort, and I don't know where it's coming from, if it's the Biden administration, if it's Democrats in general, if it's the media. There's a deliberate effort to shift blame and act like it's all on us. It's all on regular people for the state of the country right now. This failed fucking state. And I'm up to fucking here with that shit. I'm so sick of it. Cause that is the definition of punching down. You mean to tell me when we can enact single payer in this country and save countless lives? It could have said countless lives, completely excluding the pandemic, but factoring in the pandemic, it would have saved hundreds of thousands of lives. That option is still out there, but it's not an option on the table. So again, instead of focusing your ire on the institutions that can actually contain this virus and can actually enact the policies to protect the public, instead of doing that, you're spending your time shitting on people who distrust the government and distrust in these institutions rightfully, because they've been lying this entire fucking time about the pandemic. And pandemic excluded, they lie all the fucking time about everything else. So people are rightfully skeptical. And instead of acknowledging that skepticism, and instead of acknowledging where the real fault lies, because everybody understood where the fault lied when it was the Trump administration. There was no, oh, it's your fault. It's your fault. There was none of that. It was, look at this fucking buffoon and how he's handling the pandemic. And it's all on him. All of this calamity is all on him. But for some reason, now that Biden's been in office for almost 9 fucking months now, pandemic's worse than ever. ICUs are full. More cases than ever. Somehow, Biden is completely absolved from responsibility. And the only people to blame here is the unvaccinated. That's why they're pushing this narrative, the pandemic of the unvaccinated. Again, to shift blame. This is intentional to shift blame. So, I do want people to keep that in mind. If you ever find yourself about to mock somebody because they died of COVID and they said something, they were critical of the vaccine, they were critical of the CDC or whatever it is, and they died of it, even if they fucking denied the existence of the virus, and you find yourself about to mock them, ask yourself, why the fuck am I doing this? What is the purpose of me doing this? And is somebody going to see this and is going to convince them to take the vaccine? No, it's not. Nobody's ever been convinced that way. Is me doing this contributing in any way to anything productive? Absolutely not. So how about just not fucking do it? Just don't fucking do it. And again, ask yourself, am I putting blame where it lies? The people most responsible. No, you're not. If you're blaming regular people, no, you're not. So, that's kind of how I'm feeling about that. And like I said, I have a lot to say that I did say in that video. It's a whole 30-minute video about the vaccine mandates. But I want to see what you guys are saying about the vaccines in the chat. There was something about the effectiveness of the vaccines that I wanted. There was a comment about that I was trying to find. But I'm just going to try to shoot from the hip on this since I can't see it. And this is another thing about the vaccine mandates that isn't adding up. They say you need to get the vaccine mandates. You need to get the vaccine to protect other people. Okay, there's been multiple studies at this point that says the vaccine is wildly ineffective, or wildly more ineffective than it on the new strains compared to the original COVID that the vaccines were made for. So, and there's some cases that are saying like it's with like the Delta variant, there's like 30%, 40% effective at preventing you from catching the virus. So there are plenty of people who are vaccinated and still spreading it. So, and honestly, there's a case to be even made that the vaccinated are spreading it even worse because they're taking even less precautions because they think that they're protected because of the vaccine. So that's an argument that a conversation people aren't having and aren't ready to have seemingly. But also, I kind of lost my train of thought, but on the effectiveness of the vaccine, there was some study that actually, no, I'm going to do a video on that because I want to get more detail. So let me just go to another chat. Everett Singleton III says, time to start growing our own food and helping our neighbors the best we can. We are all we got. Honestly, it feels fucking crazy, but it is that time. We've gotten to that state. We've reached those failed state levels where the government has left us for dead, and I've been saying this for over a year now. They have literally left us for dead, and look no further than the mass homelessness, the mass eviction crisis. 20 million people are going to be evicted. They're going to multiply the homeless population by 10 to 20, not 10 to 20%. They're going to multiply the existing homeless population by 10 to 20. And nobody in government has lifted a fucking finger to stop it. So what that means is it's not like, oh, it's gonna be a nail biter and it's gonna come down to the wire and it's some like 11th hour, 11:59 bullshit, something might pass. They aren't even planning on doing anything. So they just, it is like accepted now that we're going to allow 20 million people to be thrown onto the streets. And at the same time, they just allowed the mass evictions, the unemployment to expire, something that I need to do a video about. So they really left people for dead, and that's why I'm saying mutual aid and direct action is all we have. It is literally all we have. If you are advocating anything less than that, you're wasting people time. You're misdirecting people into doing some unproductive shit, and that's straight up. That's just what it is. Lone Star Indy says our government has completely mishandled this pandemic. Yes. This sounds like an extreme position. This is the most logical take anybody who has seen what the fuck happened over the last year can come with. Anybody who has been in elected office, any politician who has overseen the response to this disaster over the last year, I don't care if it's local government, state government, and all the way up to fucking federal government and to the president. Anybody who has been in office should be run out of fucking office. They should all be facing Gavin Newsom recalls right now. And we should replace all of them. I cannot even say how strong I believe in this. You can pick any rando off the fucking street, anywhere you are, and they will do a 10 times better job than any fucking politician you could point to. So I have no fear of some type of crisis if all these politicians resigned from pressure and we had to fill all those. I have no fear, no doubt in my mind that we would find people who would do a way better job at serving the public than all of these shitty politicians. So run all the fucking bums out. Run all the bums out. Mike Andrews says, if no one is trying to force you and simply said, here is why you should get it. If you still are not convinced, here's more. You can't tell me that argument isn't better than take this now. And that's what I'm saying, like, the brute force and making people choose between taking the vaccine or having a job, like, that is so extreme. And this is something that I kind of talked about in the mandate video that's gonna come up after this live stream, that I'm gonna post at this live stream, which is that, and this is something I've really avoided mainstream media during this entire pandemic because I know that they're doing a shit job and just fucking rank propaganda and misinforming the public. But over the last couple of days, I have watched CNN a lot, and it's clear to me that none of these elites and a lot of people in media have no idea who it is that isn't taking the vaccine. They have no fucking idea. If you watch CNN, you would think the only people in this country who haven't taken a vaccine are fucking rabid Trump supporters who are all up in the Trump events, Trump rallies, and with the MAGA hats and all this shit. You would think that those are literally the only people in this fucking country who haven't taken the vaccine. They have never acknowledged, they won't acknowledge that it's largely minorities, it's largely communities of color, it's largely people in demographics that would normally vote Democrats that refuse to take the vaccine or are hesitant on taking the vaccine or who haven't taken it yet. And just speaking anecdotally, I would say most of the people in my life have not taken the vaccine, and they're all people of color. But most of them are people of color, and they're all people who would vote Democrats. So that those people are not discussed at all in the media, and the reason why they haven't taken it is obviously, if they aren't discussed, then the reason why they haven't taken it isn't discussed either. And the reason why they haven't taken it is because this epic, unavoidable, giant crisis of credibility among all the institutions. And this kind of gets into something that I was thinking about like with all the people mocking the COVID deaths. It is so, it's a privileged position, honestly, because you, from your point of view, taking that vaccine might be a no-brainer. Oh, I trust all the doctors. I trust all the CDC. I trust all the politicians. Or I trust them enough that I'll do this because they say it's the best thing to do. That's a position you can take. That is a whole mindset and a whole worldview that has formed over your entire life from your own experience. But what you don't understand is there are many people on this planet, many people in this country, and they have not all had the same experience that you've had. So, and this is something that I made a tweet about a while ago. Like, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? People don't agree on anything in this country or anything in this world. But you thought that these sketchy-ass criminal pharmaceutical companies could come up with this rushed experimental vaccine for a virus that we still do not understand. And 7 billion people on this planet were going to say, yes, sign me up. I'm going to take it immediately with no convincing at all. Just because that's what that's what your train of thought, that's how you decided to your decision on this how you were going to respond to this. That's how you responded. That's what your worldview told you was the right point of view, right decision to make. But if you're somebody, for example, if you're a black person, you are raised to be distrustful or to be skeptical of institutions. That is built. That is drilled into you. That is in your bones. And then, of course, that's not speaking for every black person, but a lot of black people in the country, for understandable reasons of systemic racism, and how institutions and the government and the police have targeted black people, and abuse them, and even in the medical community, for our entire existence in this country. So conversations that if you're a white person, if you're a privileged person, conversations that might not even be had in your in your house about the level of distrust you should have over institutions. But you know who had those conversations? A lot of black people, and a lot of black people who still haven't taken the vaccine. So again, the straw man is, if you haven't taken the vaccine, you're a dummy who's drunk on Fox News and you're clearly a Trump supporter. And that's like the end of the discussion of who hasn't taken the vaccine. And I think that's wildly inaccurate and does not line up with the reality. Jody Okafat and let me see. Jody Okafat said, I've heard firsthand multiple doctors say if someone is unvaxxed, they will not treat them and they will tell people to not come to them when they're sick. Mass psychosis, CIA op, anywhere. And honestly, that this is the type of shit, because this is going down a very dark path. This is why I'm saying I'm very much against all of this rhetoric of a pandemic of the unvaccinated, and like trying to shift all the blame on to regular citizens. I'm very much against that, because it is beginning to manifest in ways that are hurting regular people even more than they already are. And this line of logic that's been going around of if you're unvaccinated, you deserve to die and you don't deserve treatment, that is fucking crazy. That is fucking crazy. Like I said, there is legitimate mistrust because of the crisis of credibility, in these institutions. And you mean to tell me that because the government, because the CDC, because Fauci, because all of these public health officials have lied about this entire fucking way through, and now when the vaccine's here, this is, and some people are saying, you've lied to me too much, I don't trust you. And because people have that skepticism, you're gonna tell me they deserve to die? Again, where does the fucking blame lie here? You aren't putting any of the blame where it lies with the people who've lied unrepentantly and set public trust on fire. That's who deserves the fucking blame for people not trusting the government enough, not trusting doctors enough to do what you think is best and take the vaccine. I'm trying to find some other comments. You guys have definitely lit up the chat in this live stream. I appreciate all of the people who showed out. But yeah, I'm not gonna get too much into this. I already said I wasn't gonna get too much into it because I have the whole video, and I do really want you all to watch that video. But honestly, even in at how deep I just got into this conversation about the vaccine and stuff like that, I don't think I even really touched on anything that was in that video. So I do highly recommend you guys watch that video on the vaccine mandates that's coming out after this live stream. So if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, I am reading the chat. I'll maybe keep going for a couple minutes and then I'm gonna end it. But like I said, all the links to help support the show are in the description box of this video. Links to PayPal, Patreon, links to GoFundMe. The GoFundMe, I haven't set up a new GoFundMe. It's a single GoFundMe for the equipment. Even though the goal's met, I can still take donations, so you can help send money there. And I'm trying to get my own place. I'm trying to find like a 1-bedroom or a studio apartment goddamn near anywhere in Florida, to be real with you. I just need to make that happen. So if you can help contribute to make that happen, I would greatly appreciate it, because you guys have you really, the amount of support that I've gotten from you guys over the last year it's just been amazing. So Lone Star India asks, are you going to be live streaming regularly? Yes, I plan on live streaming at least once a week, and definitely with the recording situation, I think that's a good way to get content out. I don't want to leave you guys without content as long as I did just now. I really, really, really don't like doing that, especially after you guys helped me get this new equipment. And by the way, this is not like the final stage of the upgrade, and I should have mentioned this in the beginning, because if you guys are like, this shitty camera quality is what we put all that money into. No, so I was just having issues setting up the camera that I want to use to the laptop, so I decided to just do use the camera from the laptop, but I will have that figured out. It will be easy for me to actually do it with like the regular videos I post in the live streams, but I am going to figure out how to do it both ways. So that's coming too. So I know you guys like the camera quality is pretty good on the videos that I've done before, but I was literally just recording it on my phone. That's why the audio was so shit. And it was like the perfect storm for shit audio, because where I was recording, literally the only place that I was even able to record was like, it's so hard to explain, but it was like there was, you guys see where I was standing, right? And it was like a whole room behind me. There was like where like all the equipment would be set up, like the camera would be set up in front of me. There was like it was like a dent inside the wall. So there's wall right here, wall right there, and there's wall behind it. Nothing but fucking echo all over the place. And since I wasn't using like I wasn't able to connect my mic because I wasn't able to connect it to the laptop because my laptop was fucking done data. It was not able to do damn. I couldn't even run OBS on the laptop. That's how done it was. Yeah, so I was just over the last couple of months. All the videos I've done basically been recorded on my phone. The only exceptions would be if I was if I was on somebody else's show, or if I was on somebody else's live stream, I would record. I had to borrow another laptop, but that laptop I couldn't even use OBS. It was like a Chromebook, but I couldn't even use OBS on that to record like regular stuff. So I would just use that, connect my microphone, and the audio would be shittier, but I mean the video would be shittier, but at least I'd have good audio, and that's the most important thing. If I'm gonna go on somebody else's show, can't go on somebody else's show with shit audio. But anyway, long-winded answer. But yes, I will be doing live streams more regularly. Most likely once a week. Let me see. Whatever man says, it's good to see your channel growing unapologetic. Thank you so much, and it is all because of you all. Debate me, bro. I don't know if you're still watching, but I saw your comments at the beginning of the stream, and I always read your comments on other videos. I will definitely try to reach out and get on your show. Let me tell you, everybody knows I'm. It is incredibly hard to get me on your show, and it's not. And honestly, I feel bad for it because I do love helping to support smaller channels grow. I've done that a lot. It's just you guys see me as somebody who's on camera all the time and literally just talking publicly all the time. That is not me at all. Like, this is so out of character for me. It's just, it is a lot. Sometimes I gotta chill with the thing. I need some quiet time or else I can't think. But I debate me, bro, or the debate me now channel, whatever it is. I see your comments and I appreciate you showing up for the live stream. I don't know if you're still here, but I'll definitely try to help you out with that. Lone Star says, hope to see you on Fred Hampton Leftist again soon. Yes, I love to go on Fred Hampton Leftist. Some of the best people growing in new media right now are on Fred Hampton Leftist. You got Nick, you have CJ, Compton J, you have so many fucking people. Sabby, RJ, so many people. So many great people on Fred Hampton Leftist. So of course Rome constantly being banned and unbanned never unbanned, just making you account on Twitter. But yeah, Fred Hampton Leftist is where it's at. I'm glad that you guys had fun on this live stream. I loved doing this. Honestly, I liked it even more. See, the funny thing is, I hear people talking all the time about, like, I watch live streams. I always hear people like, well, oh, I love this so much. It was so much fun and whatever. And like, I'm like, all right, it was probably fun, but it wasn't that fun. No, this is really fun. This was great. This was really great. Way more fun than just like posting a video and reading your comments because I'll get to go back and forth with you guys. So I really love doing this. Zone2 says, "Hey, right now it's 9/11. Never forget that 20 years ago some Saudis attacked us, so we invaded 7 countries that were not Saudi Arabia for freedom and stuff." Yep, that's exactly what happened. It is the how disconnected our by our, I mean, like here in the United States, our vision of our interpretation of the events of 9/11, how disconnected it is from reality and the rest of the world. It is just, words cannot do it justice. I mean, we literally went and murdered millions of people, displaced millions of people. We set an entire region of the world on fire over some shit they had nothing to do with. And the person who did was responsible for it are our top fucking allies that we keep business relations with, and we keep giving them weapons and money and shit. It is so fucking crazy. Yo, it is so fucking crazy. And y'all let me know how the mouthpiece was, because I was really coming on this shit. I was like, yo, can I keep talking this long? Can and y'all know me. I'm not afraid to put out a long ass video. But I was like, shit, can I keep talking for a whole live stream? No dead air, going back and forth with the comments and the back end shit, and just keep it moving smooth like that. Y'all let me know how the mouthpiece was, if I need some improvement on that. But this was definitely fun. Yo, I really don't even want to log off. I have shit to do, and like I said, I have to make sure that video's good to be published. But I have shit to do, so that's why I'm gonna log off. But this was great. This was an amazing first live stream. Thank you all so much for showing up. Like I said all before, all the links to help support the show are in the description box. If you would like to see me do more content, I would need a place to do that, because boy, them hotel rooms is not cheap. So help support the show. I'll also probably cut some of the parts that I talked about in this, some of the topics I talked about in this stream, and make videos about it. I probably should have mentioned that at the beginning of the stream. But yeah, so you could look out for that. But thank you all so much. It's been great. I will catch you on the next live stream. I will make a post in the, I can't even think, in the community tab on YouTube, like I did before this live stream. I'll also make I'll tweet about it before I go live, and when I pick the date that I'm gonna go live, I'll start promoting it then, because this was kind of just like some rando shit. I just I knew I was gonna go live, but I just didn't say anything until like a couple hours before I did. So thank you all so much. Kid Wee says enjoyable listen, came way by Nico. Oh, Nico sending people over there. Appreciate that. You know, fuck with Nico House. Put me on, had me on before damn near anybody else had me on their show years ago. And MCSC, also a great network. So much great people and new additions that they had. Convo Couch was the OG edition, but ever since then, you got Slow News Day, you got Frank from Frank Analysis, and you got Comrade Misty and Facts on the Ground. Great network with great people. Independent Left News says, psyched, you going live now. Yes, I am excited about that too. But this was great. And we will be doing more live streams.